living alone, at 19 I moved out. So it teaches you growth. It teaches you that in life you don't just jump into independence, you grow into independence, and we start small, right? We don't just start there at the top. Welcome back to the channel. So should you consider working directly after matric, or should you just focus on school, right? This is mainly for forex traders, but it can also be generalized to most people, right? If you're in matric, you can take my advice, and it's up to you if you apply it or not. But this has worked perfectly fine for me, right? So currently I'm working, and I graduated matric last year, right? Forex trader, obviously. So I'm gonna outline the positive and the negatives. I'm also gonna give you the overall answer to how it has impacted my life and all that, right? Now guys, one thing I want you to realize is that working directly after matric, you are stepping into a level that you've never stepped into in your entire life. And most people only step into that level after a long time. Maybe they're like 25, 26. And remember, if you're graduating from matric and you're stepping into that level right away, the income can make you dizzy, because you went from literally getting maybe 20 rand as pocket money when you're going to school to now getting over 5,000 rands, depending on where you're working, right? So it can definitely make you dizzy, but long term, you should also think about it, right? Since we are forex traders, most of us, and you probably watching this channel, it's actually very beneficial, but at the same time it's going to require some personal development, because remember, your personal development cannot exceed your level of income. So when you get that much money, you are not going to be ready for it, to put it in simple terms. And then the alternate route is to start applying for school and just continue with your studies. So continuing with your studies is obviously beneficial long term, but if you're trying to achieve massive growth, I think some time off is well needed, because that's where you actually find yourself, find what you like, find what you don't like, you know. That's where you realize that no one is actually coming to save you in all those, right? So my advice is, based on my experiences, that you must have a plan earlier on. When I graduated from Matric, the next day all I did was type a CV, print bulk pages of my CV, and started applying for a job. And I was only able to get a job in like February, and I started applying around December, I guess. So it took quite a few months, but remember, now if you're gonna get a job, you now start making income, but that income kind of shifts you away from what your goal was, your mission was. Like for example, us as forex traders, when you get that much money, you don't really think of funding immediately, right? You don't think of, oh, I'm gonna take this money, I'm gonna grow it, I'm gonna do this. Even if you do, maybe you used to funding maybe $10, 200 rand, 250, at most 500 rand. If you're pretty privileged, 1,000 rand. Now you can afford to find for 2,000 rand and all that. And remember, if you're gonna find 2,000 rand, there's no way you're gonna make much money from 2,000 rand if you fail to grow maybe $30. If you fail to flip $30 into maybe $60 over time, it's a clear indicator that you might not be profitable, and you just depositing a large sum of money probably won't help with anything, right? But a job will increase your maturity in a way, because after a few months you will actually realize that true freedom is not money, but it's actually time freedom and financial freedom, freedom to choose, right? So if you're gonna go into the workplace, just know that you need to be disciplined. And when I say disciplined, I mean knowing what you're working for, right? Because it's not pop and place. It's just a slave industry, man. Waking up early in the morning and all that. So you just have to be above average in order to make some progress and going forward, you know. So in terms of me and my experience, getting a job to this year was probably the best decision I made instead of going to school. Because remember, school, you never outgrow school, bro. You can still go to school anytime in your life. But sacrificing a year or two, maybe to just focus on your own thing and try and make your own craft and try, you know, level up in you, your personal development, your character, your self improvement, yourself, and maybe potentially earning income, learning skills, high income skills. You might not even need school in your life, right? So, my plan is next year I'm gonna take on a few courses, right? A few courses, obviously, because maybe your parents also want you to do something, you know, things like that. You know, you can't just maybe work. But if I set myself up this year and set the foundation strong for myself, I know that next year I'll be cruising because I might be having some savings, profitable in the marketplace, like in the market. So it's not much pressure for me then, you know. I can still be going to school and still be making money and still be maintaining the lifestyle I'm living currently, you know. Because one of the first things I did was move out, living alone, you know. At 19 I moved out. So it teaches you growth. It teaches you that in life you don't just jump into independence, you grow into independence, and we start small, right? We don't just start there at the top. Just like trading, me, past few months, you know, let me say the past 10 months I haven't been profitable. Past 3 months, 2 months, I have been profitable. I can successfully say I've turned into a profitable trader. Just last week I withdrew $30. Just yesterday I withdrew $10. It's not much, but it's something. I'm used to losing money to the market. So to go from losing money from the market to making some money in the marketplace is just a crazy shift for me, right? So to conclude things, should you go to school or go try look for work? My brutal honest answer is don't go to school. Take some time and find yourself. What do you want? Make up your mind, because when you go coming from Matric, your mind is still under a lot of pressure, man. Take some time. Don't be too harsh on yourself, because you're gonna end up taking incorrect decisions that will cost you time, because time is more valuable than money. Right? You can lose money, it's okay to lose money, you can gain back money, but you can't gain back time. So I'd say in that um period, you can just focus on finding yourself. And how do you find yourself? What's the best way to find yourself? Start by fixing up your body. Start by changing how you eat. Start by being disciplined there, you know. And then automatically, from doing that, you gain clarity. Clarity is what leads to you knowing what you actually want, you know, because clarity comes from confidence. Confidence comes from you keeping your word and doing the things that you say you're gonna do, you know, because that is called discipline. Discipline leads to clarity. Clarity leads to freedom, because that's where you find your purpose. And if you're gonna follow your purpose and you do the things daily, small micro things daily, that's when it leads up to big things, you know. Sometimes we might not be profitable in the marketplace because we just lack clarity, right? And as I said, how do you gain clarity? You gain confidence. How do you gain confidence? By doing the things that you said you're gonna do. So there's no way you can always break your plan in the marketplace and expect to have confidence and expect to go profitable in a few years time or a few months time or a few weeks time, right? So that's my honest brutal advice to you, my G. Just try find yourself, my G. You've already identified what you probably want to do, right? So just go hard on it. Take some time and When I say hard, I don't mean stop your lifestyle, stop doing you for it, because when you do that, you're showing God that you're so focused on the result. And once you're focused on the result, that's when you don't achieve the result. But when you shift the focus from the result and just doing it because you love doing it, that's where everything is attracted to you, you know. So yeah, that's my brutal honest advice. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video. I'm gonna start creating content once again. Yeah, this is Gift here, signing out.